Good evening, folks. Welcome to the JM Transport Blown Piston Racing League with the Clash cars on the Sunday night. We are here in Phoenix, Arizona, for the final race in the regular season, the final chance for the drivers to get themselves into the playoffs here at Phoenix International Raceway. 1.5 mile track. A 1 mile track. 74 degrees Fahrenheit is the ambient temperature, 32% relative humidity. We are under a partly cloudy skies here at the classic raceway, 4 mile an hour winds, which is really not going to affect them very much. We have a track temperature of 103 degrees Fahrenheit, and that makes for a fairly slick track. And as you can already see in the background, we are running the open leg version, the open dog leg version of the track, which means that on the top of your screen at the track map there, the dog leg, as we call it, is open for the drivers to cut on the asphalt apron. We can give you a little bit more of that right here as we follow those cars. The dog leg is on the left here, and you can see the number 6 car taking that apron. That is legal tonight. Let's quickly bring you up to speed with the point standings, because there's quite a bit at stake here. We have the driver standings on the top left of your screen. Tommy Ryan is leading the pack with 464 points. He's got 3 wins to his name. He's got 5 top 5 finishes, 1 more even in the top 10. He's got 8 stage wins, no less, more than any other driver in the series this season. He has led 293 laps in total. That makes him not only the leader in the championship, it also makes him the front man for the DXP Frontman Award, an award that will be issued at the end of the season to the driver that has led the most laps during the season. You can find your favorite driver there in the standings, folks. On the bottom left of your screen, we have the people that are locked into the playoffs. The top, the ones in the light blue square there are the ones that have clinched a win or more, like Tommy Ryan. He's got 3 of them, and Anthony Kies has got 2 of them. The wins have locked those guys in. Then Andrew Moore Jr. has clinched a spot into the playoffs simply based on the fact that he is there on points. The same is true for Jason Branch. He is in the playoffs based on points. Now, let's see. Take a quick look at the team standings there on the top right of your screen. 4X Racing with 316 points leading. Then it's Unacceptable Motorsports with only 2 points behind, and you can find your favorite team there as well. Scoring information for the season, folks, is brought to you by Wise Choice Contracting and Wise Guy iRacing Graphics. We appreciate their support, obviously, for these graphics. We have a lot more to talk about, though. We have a bunch of drivers that are within reach of the playoffs. Excuse me, folks, I had to cough there. I didn't want you to hear that. So let's see. We have Andrew Mraz, for example. Let's take a look at the practice graphics in the background here, folks. We have Andrew Mraz. Let's see if we can find him currently. He's not on track. Andrew Mraz can clinch. He only needs 5 points to get himself into the playoffs. Then it's Max Williams that needs 8. Scott Wise and Elliot Henderson need 13. Jeremy Brooks will need 20. Casey Duncan needs 33. Eric Kempf will need 51 without a new winner, because a new winner would pick up a spot that takes him into the playoffs. So Eric Kempf, David Evans, and Brian Fallon can get in there, but they may not have a new winner that takes away one of those spots. Mathematically, Jeff Figlin, Ryan Nicoletta, Jeff Ryan, Kevin Nicoletta, Jordan Berry, Randy Yoakum, and Ron Schutte can still get in. But for the bottom of that list, Berry, Yoakum, and Schutte, it's going to be a long stretch for them, so they would only make that on a win. And the same is true for the final drivers I can mention here. Corbin Simmons, John Findlay, Jacob Williams, Anthony Handley, Berkowitz, Bellerby, and Munda. They could get in with a win. So there's plenty at stake here in Phoenix tonight, folks, as we are ticking away the moments of the practice session. It is, as usual, Tommy Ryan leading the time charge there with a 27.867 as a fastest lap time for the race here, for the practice times tonight. So we're going to go into the qualifying session. That means 2 laps individually done. They cannot see each other. We can see all of them if they are active on track. So let's see. We have Eric Kepf being the first out of pit road to get his qualifying effort in, folks, in that number 63 car. Let's see how Eric Kepf is doing on that list of drivers we have just given you. Eric Kepf will need 51 points, and he will only get in if there is no new winner. So things are dicey for Eric Kepf. He's going to need a good result here tonight, obviously, and let's see how his qualifying situation will look at the end of these 2 laps. And there, especially during qualifying, folks, you will see a lot of drivers take down on that apron in the dog leg. They want to take the shortest way around this track to save themselves a few hundredths of a second in time. Let's see how Eric is doing here after his first lap. He has posted a 28.039, and that is currently the quickest time on the track. As we say it, it looks like Chris Heller has surpassed him. Chris is running in the 701 car with the 61 graphics, and he is actually substituting for Chris White here tonight. So Chris Heller is not one of the regulars, but he is definitely trying to make a name for himself here tonight. Andrew Moore, he is currently in the 2nd position. Well, he's already dropped off to the 3rd one because Brian Fallon has picked up the pace here with a 27.948. He is currently in the 2nd position now, and we have 20 drivers already posting times. I believe we have close to 30 drivers here tonight, so it's going to be a full field. Tommy Ryan has picked up the first time here, 27.849. His first lap was disallowed, which means that he must have had some sort of issue scuffing the wall or maybe taking too much of a shortcut there at the dog leg. But he is currently the man in front. And that's where we very often find him. Let's see, we have Max Williams currently on the track there, finished his qualifying attempt in 9th position currently. Elliot Henderson currently in the 12th position. He is on his final lap here. Looks like he's got a little bit of a alteration to his graphics on the car with a bright yellow nose. And let's see, he has posted a 28.051, currently good enough for the 11th position. Jeff Ryan is already done. Let's see, we have Guy Schneider still on track in the Gulf livery. Guy Schneider currently in 23rd, and Schneider is already clinched into the playoffs, folks. We have exactly 33 drivers on track. Casey Duncan currently not yet set a time. He is out there on track in the number 17 Dunkin' Donuts car. And we have Chris Carter on track in the 809, currently in 18th position with a 28.273. Let's see, Guy Schneider has completed his run. He is in 23rd. Justin Gahn is out there. And let's see, he ran a 27.910. That puts him on the 3rd position currently. And I believe Tommy is still running laps, but they're not really, He's just using the time to practice a little bit more. So is Justin Gahn. Well, he came to a stop. Chris Carter is 19th in that 809, also running a few more laps. I believe we have had pretty much everybody out there on a qualifying effort except for Louis Berkowitz in the 37 car and Chris Scala in the 15. We have not seen those guys on track. There is Chris Scala, and with the time taken away, 20 seconds left on the clock, he is not going to be able to put in a qualifying time, folks, and that means that this man here is the winner of your Cup Blue Pole Award. That is Tommy Ryan. Nobody can surpass him anymore. The Cup Blue Pole Award is for Tommy Ryan once again. And that, folks, concludes your qualifying. We are going to take you to the grid there. The information is popping on your screen. The grid is being built up currently in the pit lane. We're going to do one warm-up lap on this track, so we're going to have to hurry on through this grid here. Tommy Ryan, your Cup Blue Pole Award winner. Christopher Heller alongside him on his first run here for the series. Justin Gahn, Brian Fallon on the second row, Brooks and Moore on the third row, Keys and Evans on the fourth. Then it's Eric Kepf, Max Williams on the fifth, Berry and Henderson on the sixth. The seventh row will be for Kevin Nicoletta and Schutte, Findlay and Branch on the eighth row. Then it's Jeff Ryan and Jim Thorndike on the ninth, Chris Carter, Andrew Mraz on the 10th, Scott Wise, Tom Queering on the 11th row. Then it's Corbin Simmons and Guy Schneider on the 12th. The 13th row, folks, is for Williams and Figlin. The 14th row is for Ryan Nicoletta and Avery Wilson. Casey Duncan, Jacob Manning on the 15th row, 16th row for Bill Voigt and Chris Scala, and Louis Berkowitz is on the final starting position, the 33rd entry to the race, and he will be starting in the back. Let's see, we are waiting on the grid here for a few drivers. Guy Schneider and Louis Berkowitz have not yet gridded up. Schneider should be alongside the 22 there, and Berkowitz at the end of the pack there would be on his own on the final row. Looks like Guy Schneider has gridded up, so we are only waiting for Louis Berkowitz, and hopefully he can get well, he's a little late now. He's going to have to start from the pits if he wants to start at all. Hopefully he can get on and join us. That would be good for everybody, especially for him. Tommy Ryan, your pole sitter, your Cup Blue Pole Award winner, and Chris Heller, the substitute for Chris White, in the number 61 car. He is alongside him. Then it's Gahn and Fallon on the second row, Brooks and Moore on the third. And we are getting ready to go racing. There we go. The green is being called out on the radio. We are on our way for the final race in the regular season of the JM Transport Blown Piston Racing League Clash Series. This is where people can get themselves into the playoffs, folks, and there you see a lot of drivers using that apron in the dog leg. Tommy Ryan has a good lead on Chris Heller. Chris Heller being challenged already by Justin Gahn, and Jeremy Brooks is right there behind him with Brian Fallon in the number 18 car pushing hard. Anthony Keys in sixth. Andrew Moore up, washing a little high there. It looks like David Evans and Eric Kepf are getting underneath him already. Max Williams in the number 52 is rounding out your top 10 currently. Tommy Ryan staying ahead already. Look at him pulling away by more than half a second already on lap number 2 here in Arizona. Christopher Heller is also pulling away from Justin Gahn. Chris is doing a good job here on his first outing. Justin Gahn running a little bit wide there. Jeremy Brooks coming to the inside. They're all going over that apron there. Brian Fallon in the number 18 car. Jeremy Brooks closing in on Justin Gahn, it looks like.
The yellow flag is out.
Ooh, we have an issue going on somewhere. Let's see what we can find out here. It looks like we have Andrew Mraz turning it around. Casey Duncan was involved in that. Let's see if we can figure out what exactly went on. The 28 touches the 609, I believe, the 809, I'm sorry, of Chris Carter. And it looks like, ooh, the 28 gets, is that the 28? Yep, that is Andrew Mraz. He gets turned around again. He backs it up to the start-finish line to get that lap completed. And now he's going to have to be careful not to back it into the wall trying to turn this thing around. There he goes. He gets onto the apron and he keeps it out of the wall, getting it turned around. That is phenomenal. That is a classic move here by Andrew Mraz. Let's bring back this event here one more time, folks. It looks like Mraz gets together with the 809 coming off the backstretch, going through the dog leg, and then towards turn 3, it looks like Andrew wants to get underneath, and he touches the 809, gets him to turn around. Then he gets turned around by that 809 there. I think that Casey Duncan is actually being one of the victims there. There was absolutely nothing he had to do with it until the 28 touched him. And then Mraz pulls a classic stunt here. All right, folks, we are under yellow. Let's see if we can figure out I believe the 022. That would be our luck. Well, I don't believe we had a lucky dog yet. That would be silly of me to assume that, but the 22 is going around to the back end of the pack there. And we are under our first caution here, folks. And as you are well aware by now, our cautions are sponsored by Superior Templating. It looks like we're already getting ready to go back to racing. They are lined up double file once again, going into lap number 7 of 150. Pace car is going to be pulling down into the pit lane here shortly. There he goes, and Tommy Ryan will get us back going again. And once again, he pulls a good length there on the field. Chris Heller on the outside has no answer. Justin Gahn on the inside, trying to stick it underneath that 61 machine. Looks like Brian Fallon is getting underneath Brooks and picks up 4th position. David Evans looking at it from the back here in 6th position in that number 1 car. And it's Max Williams that slots in behind him. Heller has picked up 2nd position once again. Gahn was not able to finish that move and get underneath him. He, in turn, is dealing with the pressure of Brian Fallon in the number 18 car. And the number 18 is trying to get underneath him there now. And almost a similar move as to what we saw Mraz pull there in before the yellow, but it looks like Brian Fallon's done better, staying away from that number 30 car. The 30 keeps the momentum going on the high side, and Brian Fallon is not past him just yet. He is trying again in turn 1 and 2. It looks like he's going to get it now, and a 30 is being a little careful coming down on the apron with him, because obviously you know there's a car underneath you, but you don't know how far underneath he is. He still has the higher side here coming off turn 4, and he's got great momentum. Pulls a good length there on Brian Fallon, and it looks like Jeremy Brooks is coming along with him there. The higher side in 3 and 4 seems to be working really well. The lower side seems to be working well in the turns 1 and 2. We see Elliot Henderson moving up strongly here. He's already picked up 5 positions since the start of the race. Our hardest charger at this point seems to be Avery Wilson. He has already picked up 10 positions. Avery Wilson running the number 18 here. He is currently your hardest charger in the race. Tommy Ryan still leading the pack by over a second already. Heller is following, and he's got about 0.6 of a second on Gahn. Gahn seems to be pulling away from Fallen, and Fallen seems to be picking up the pace here. He has now definitely put himself in front of Jeremy Brooks. Elliot Henderson is starting to challenge that number 53 car as well. And as you can see, folks, they're cutting across that apron fairly harsh, and it looks like we might... Excuse me, folks. The voice and the throat are not perfect here tonight, but we'll make do with what we got. I was talking about Elliot Henderson trying to put more pressure on Jeremy Brooks. Elliot is now 6 positions up, and as you can see, they're cutting across that dogleg fairly harsh, and I hope that's not going to lead anybody into trouble here tonight. Tommy Ryan pulling away. 1.5 seconds on Chris Heller, and then it's Justin Gahn with Brian Fallen in 4th. It looks like everything seems to be settling down a little bit right now. Oh boy, we're getting some delays here. Justin Gahn defending from Brian Fallen. It's not necessarily true that taking that apron through the dogleg is all that much faster. I don't really see all that much advantage. Brian Fallen coming to the inside now on turn 1. And it looks like he's actually pulled a good move there on Justin Gahn. Puts that 08 in front of the 30. And obviously taking that apron is shorter in distance, but as they come off of turn 2 a little tighter, I do believe that they're scrubbing away a little bit of speed. They might be gaining in distance, but they're scrubbing away a little bit more speed, diving onto that apron. Let's see if we can show you that a little bit here in the pictures. They're basically making turn 2 a longer turn, so they're losing a little bit of momentum, it looks like. But as a defense, I think it's a great move. All right, let's see a little bit further back in the field. We have Scott Wise in 15th position, up 12 positions. Avery Wilson is still doing really well in the number 18. He is up 12 positions now. 11 positions in the positive for Jacob Manning. So a lot of drivers that started in the back are doing really well. Louis Berkowitz has never taken the start, and your final driver is that 809, Chris Carter. He is the only driver that is currently not on the lead lap. Tommy Ryan pulling away almost 2 seconds now on Chris Heller. Big lead for Tommy Ryan. Lap number 18 of 150. We're going to finish up the first stage, folks. Oops, we have a yellow. Let's find out first what's going on. It looks like Chris Snyder was involved with Chris Scala. Schneider there in the 27 car. Oops, it's actually in front of them, and it looks like it was Scala that had an issue in front there. Let's see what happened. Scala is being touched by... I can't see who that is. Is that the 52? Or the 59, maybe? Nope. Yellow car. It's the 92. Number's not very legible on that machine. Let's bring it back one more time and see what happens. The 92 is on the high side, runs very wide. Scala comes washing up off the turn, and it looks like the 92 was still a little bit loose. The back end coming around and pushing him down on the track, and that's where he touched Scala. All right, unfortunate for both these drivers and for the number 27. And it looks like we have a lot of drivers going down pit road. Figlin, Findlay, Nicoletta, Ryan, that is, Guy Schneider. He doesn't look like he's too badly damaged. Williams, Voigt, Scala. Scala's got a lot more damage on the back end there. They don't have a fast repair. Scala is actually having to parallel park here in the pits. He got a little bit too far to the left. It looks like the 809 of Chris Carter is your SFI lucky dog. He was the only driver that was not on the lead lap so far, so he picks up the SFI lucky dog. Good for him. He's back on the lead lap. The car still looks pretty good. And we have Williams already leaving pit lane. Findlay, pretty badly damaged there on the front end. Guy Schneider seems to be in better shape. Ryan Nicoletta, and it looks like Schneider is already leaving pit road. He is trying to stay on the lead lap here, I'm sure. And I think he's succeeding in that. Absolutely. So Jacob Williams also staying on the lead lap, it looks like, and Findlay is not. So currently Findlay is, I believe, the only driver that is not on the lead lap. All right, so there goes your advantage, Mr. Tommy Ryan. You get to do it all over again. That is just part of it, obviously. Superior Templating sponsoring our caution period here. Let's quickly take a look at our chargers. We do still have Avery Wilson being our hard charger currently. See if we can find him. There he is, the number 18 car. He is our R&R Enterprises hard charger currently. And Tommy Ryan obviously doing very good business as far as his DXP Frontman Award is concerned. He has led all laps so far, so he's adding up to his lead in that competition as well. Looks like we're getting ready to go again. Lap number 23. We're going into 23 of 150. Tommy Ryan will get us going once again.
Hang on, we're not going green.
It looks like we are waiting for the green to come out. It seems like there was a issue with Chris Scala. Yep, he is trying to catch up to the field, and he loses the back end, turns it around. Fortunately, he can get going again. But all the repairs done in the pits have just been pretty much neutralized again. So we're going to add another lap to this caution period. Chris Carter is back on pit road, as is Findlay, or probably Findlay never left. Carter is back there again. Hopefully he can get back going before we go green. There he goes. He is at least going to keep himself on the lead lap there. Ryan, Heller, Fallen, Gahn, Brooks, and Henderson, your first 6 drivers there at the restart. It looks like the pace car's coming in this time, going into lap number 24. Tommy Ryan is going to lead us back into green flag racing again. And it looks like Brian Fallen has a good start there. Picks up second position from Heller. Heller on the high side here. It looks like Brooks is also getting ready to come underneath him on the dog leg. He looks like Heller is getting overrun a little bit on the outside. Well, it's not as bad as I thought it would be. Brian Fallen and Brooks have passed him. And let's see, Justin Gahn is right behind him. Heller gets a little bit loose coming off turn 4 there. And Elliot Henderson Gets underneath the 30 of Gone. Ooh, and a bit of a harmonica effect there for Heller. He gets caught out on that. He is being passed by a lot of drivers there. Let's bring that back for you real quick. Take a look at the... why are we watching Shooty here? I wasn't going to let you see him. We're trying to let you see that incident with Heller again. There you have his teammate on the inside of Gone. And then Gone touches the 61. The 61 gets washed up to the track there. But luckily he can keep it out of the wall. So good job there. Ooh, and then we have a caution anyway. Let's see. Jeff Ryan seems to be involved with Ron Shooty. Jeff Ryan is in the 3 car. It's actually Shooty up ahead that is being collected by, let's see, that looks like the 18 of Avery that touches the 28, and then the 3 of Jeff Ryan gets collected there. Back under yellow again, folks. Tommy Ryan leading the pack around. Lap number 27 of 150. Personally, I am not a big fan of the dogleg being open. I think the racetrack is the racetrack and they should be staying on that, but who am I? Wilson and Thorndike heading towards pit road. Andrew Moraes heading towards pit road. We should be seeing Findlay picking up the lucky dog. Excuse me. Findlay is already out. Scala. There he is. He is your SFI lucky dog. Chris Scala in the number 15 car. It looks like the damage on his car is not really all that... Well, the front end's pretty much missing. And the back end's crumbled up a little bit. I'm sure he did that front end on that spin on under yellow, trying to catch up to the field. So unfortunately, that machine is not looking its best anymore. Shooty on pit road. Jeff Ryan is on pit road. That was to be expected. Ooh, Moraes has had some major trouble there. I didn't know he had that much damage. I'm not sure what happened to him. Guy Schneider back on pit road. And everybody else is pretty much staying out. So it looks like we're going to have a bunch of drivers going down a lap now in pit lane. Jeremy on the high side there in the 53. So Brian Follen gets another shot at Tommy Ryan. Tommy Ryan's been very fast so far. He's been pulling away quite a bit. So maybe Brian Follen has figured out something new, and maybe he can stick with him this time. First stage will end on lap number 45, folks. Second stage will end on lap 90. And obviously there's some valuable points for these guys to be picked up. Lights on the pace car have been turned off. It looks like we're going to go back to racing going into lap number 31 here in Phoenix, Arizona for the JM Transport Blown Piston Racing League Clash Series. JM Transport, folks, your go-to people in transport if it's big and heavy. And there we go once again. Tommy Ryan has a good jump on the field. Brian Fallon seems to respond fairly quickly here, pushing it into second position. Jeremy Brooks underneath Elliot Henderson is going for third. Elliot Henderson has a good restart as well. He is staying ahead of David Evans, and the 63 of Eric Kepf is right behind him. Then it's Justin Gahn, who has dropped back a little bit. Max Williams in 8th position. Jordan Berry here in 9th. And Kevin Nicoletta rounds out your top 10 right now. It looks like Brian Fallon indeed is staying with Tommy Ryan a little bit better. Tommy pulling ahead by about 0.3 of a second, and Brian seems to be able to keep it there at this point. Let's take a look at him from inside the car. You can see his hands making major movements as he transitions from the apron to the banking of the track there when he comes back from the dogleg. Ooh, car looks a little bit loose. You can see him counter steering into that slide. And it looks like he's also a little bit loose coming into turn 1 and 2. Then once again coming off turn 2, he is taking the shortcut. Well, actually he's not going all the way on that apron. And once again, keep an eye on his hands there, coming off turn 4. The banking here in Phoenix is not all that high. You can see him once again. That back end steps out a little bit, and he has to steer into that slide. So it looks like Brian's car is a little bit loose, coming off the turns there. Now he goes down on the apron, as does Jeremy Brooks there in 4th position. It looks like Elliot Henderson has taken that 3rd position away. Ooh, Jeremy up into the wall. There he is, Jeremy. Oops, wrong car once again. The 53 of Jeremy Brooks scraping the wall there, coming off of turn number 4. So tire management, folks, is going to be an issue for these guys. They have 4 tire sets to play with during this race. That means they have to make them last for a while. David Evans closing in on that number 53 machine. Justin Gahn in hot pursuit there as well. Eric Kepf, Max Williams, and the final car in your picture there is Jordan Berry in the number 51. It looks like Tommy Ryan is pulling away again, but it's not going as fast as previously. He is now a little over half a second clear of Brian Fallon. Elliot Henderson is 0.4 of a second behind Fallon. And then almost a second further down, it's Jeremy Brooks, Justin Gahn, David Evans, Eric Kepf. Let's check on a few other drivers here. Jason Branch is in 17th position, following Jeff Ficklin and Avery Wilson. He's got Tom Queering behind him in the 46. Corbin Simmons in the number 022. He is in 25th position. Ryan Nicoletta following him at about a half a second. Jeff Ryan now in 27th position. Bill Voigt in 28th. Findlay has left the race, unfortunately. A final running driver at this moment here is Guy Schneider, and he is 1 lap down. And so is Ron Schutte and Andrew Mraz. Tommy Ryan more than a second clear now of Brian Fallon. It looks like he has picked up the pace as he did before. Elliot Henderson staying here with Brian Fallon, challenging him for the 2nd position. Lap number 39 of 150. We are closing in on the final laps here of that first stage, which will end at the end of lap number 45. And again, folks, good points for these guys to pick up in these stages. Tommy Ryan has already won 8 of them this year. He's been doing very good. He always takes those stages very seriously, and he wants to score those extra points. With 3 wins in the races, he is also the winningest driver in the series at this point. Definitely the man to beat. Henderson is having a little bit of trouble staying with Fallon. Brooks is kind of by himself there, and then it's Justin Gahn. It looks like the field is stretching out a little bit more. Ooh, Max Williams is picking up a position from Eric Kepf as he runs a little wide. Jordan Berry gets underneath him as well, and Chris Heller is getting close to his teammate there. 3 cars of the same team together here. Anthony Keys has got Avery Wilson to deal with, the number 18 machine. Jason Branch closing in on Jacob Manning, and it looks, ooh, they touch as they go into turn number 1 and 2. The 13 of Jim Thorndike behind him. Taking a look back at the top here, it looks like Brian Fallon is coming under more and more pressure of Elliot Henderson. Lap number 43. 3 more laps in the first stage. Tommy Ryan still your leader. Henderson pounding up the pressure. Two more laps in the first stage, folks. Elliot Henderson is getting closer to Brian Fallon. He wants that second position. And it's interesting to see that it looks like less and less drivers are using that shortcut there. It may be a little bit too upsetting for the car. Final lap of the first stage, folks. Tommy Ryan is well out in front. We're looking at Brian Fallon and Elliot Henderson duking it out for that second position. It looks like he can hold on to it. There's Tommy Ryan. He's going to pick up the stage win here. Lap number 45 completed. Tommy Ryan picks up the first stage win. That is Brian Fallon keeping it in second with Elliot Henderson in third, Jeremy Brooks in fourth, and Justin Gahn in fifth position. Sixth is David Evans. Then it's Max Williams, Jordan Berry, Chris Heller, and Anthony Keys rounds out your top 10. You're riding along with the back bumper of Brian Fallon, looking back at Elliot Henderson here. The battle for second and third position. And it looked there for a moment that we are already starting to pass the back markers there. That looks like, who is that? Bill Voigt in the Oreo number 7 car. Kevin Nicoletta is bringing it on pit road, the number 41 from 21st position. Tommy Ryan still leading the race. Jeremy Brooks, David Evans are coming into the pits as well. Ooh, 53 has to back it up to get service there, overshooting his pit, and currently going down a lap on this man, the Tommy Ryan, the leader of the race. I believe he was passing his brother Jeff, and that was not for position, obviously. There we have Brian Fallon and Elliot Henderson, second and third position. Justin Gahn in fourth, and Anthony Keys in fifth. There's Anthony. He is leading the group of Wilson, Williams, and Heller. Wilson pulling a good pass here on the 14. Ooh, slight touch in turn 3. Went way deep on that dogleg and picks up the 5th position. Kepf and Manning going into pit road. Ooh, I can't catch them. There they are. Manning, let's see. There they are, coming down pit road. Kepf, Manning, and Jason Branch is the 3rd car you see on the picture there, coming down pit road. Ooh. That looks like that looks like Jacob Manning kind of missed his pit there. Anthony Keys coming down pit road as well. And still out there, Tommy Ryan, 3.4 seconds ahead of Brian Fallon at this point. Elliot Henderson still closely behind. Justin Gahn has caught up with him. He is the number 30 car there, the 3rd machine in your picture. Runs a little bit wide going into turn number 1. Chris Heller in pit road, Andrew Moore in pit road. Tommy Ryan catching up to Guy Snyder, getting ready to put a lap on him. Anderson still putting on the pressure. And Jordan Berry moving down pit road. Justin Gahn is getting creative there. And looks like Justin has a little bit of an... Ooh, Justin is coming into the pits. Tommy Ryan went into the pits. That hands the lead to Brian Fallon. Max Williams coming down pit road as well. Fallon in the 18 car, now your leader. And there he comes going into turn number 3. He is coming down pit road as well. And it looks like Henderson is doing the same thing, a little bit late, but he makes it in. And it looks like he's down on the pit speed in time. That puts Avery Wilson in the lead currently. Tommy Ryan leaving pit road. He is currently in 12th position. Wilson, your leader, he is 4.6 seconds clear of Jeff Figlin. Casey Duncan is coming into the pits. Henderson leaving pit road. Brian Fallon is still on pit road. He's taking his good time there. Wilson has pitted last on lap 28, so he's got a ways to go before he goes in. He is actually being passed here by David Evans, trying to get his lap back, and he does so. Jim Thorndike coming off 3rd position now to come down pit road. Duncan leaving. Wilson being passed by Henderson, not for position. Corbin Simmons is that 022 car there that is being lapped. Actually, Jeremy Brooks passed him for position. Jeff Figlin is your second place driver. He is 5.3 seconds behind Avery Wilson, and he's on old tires, and look at all the people that have pitted are just walking all over him. So it would be time for him to get down to pit road probably. The 41 of Kevin Nicoletta. Jason Branch is behind him now. Corbin Simmons is bringing it in.
The yellow flag is out.
We have an issue for, I believe, Avery Wilson. Yes, Avery, this is your typical problem, folks, when there is, when you're blinking away, the driver behind you cannot see you, and that is the number 14 machine. Let's take this incident back from his perspective. A little bit further back, you can see the 14 closing in on Wilson, and Wilson is going to blink out. His connection is a little bit bad. You'll see the 18 disappear, jumps back into the picture, disappears, and then the 14 kind of has to guess where that 18 car is, and that is extremely difficult, and that can lead to situations like these. As the 18 comes back in the picture, he is really in the way of the 14, and there is nothing the 14 can do about it. It is very, very unfortunate. It brings out the caution, folks. Jeff Figlin is on pit road. It looks like the 63. Eric Kepf is our lucky dog. There he is. Sponsored by SFI, Eric Kepf in the 63. He is our lucky dog. Tommy Ryan is back in the lead. He's got a lot of lap cars between himself and the pace car. Let's take a look at the hard charger issues we have here. Well, we might want to wait on the pit stop because Chris Scala was up 19 positions, but he's standing on pit road. But at this point, he is the one that would bring home the R&R Enterprises Hard Charger Award. Andrew Mraz, Jeff Ryan, Brian Fallen, Tom Quering, Ron Schutte, Scott Wise, Guy Schneider, Andrew Moore. They are all on pit road. And Tommy Ryan is staying out. And it looks like they're getting ready to go again, lining them up. We'll be going back to racing in going into lap number 68, folks. Scala still is, well, he's leaving now, but he was back on pit road.
We're not going green. Not going green.
All right, we're extending the yellow here. Not sure what happened. They might just give the drivers that are trying to catch up in the back of the pack there a little bit more time. Because it kind of appeared to me that everything was a little bit stretched out. On our way to lap number 90, to finish that second stage. And there we go once again, folks. Tommy Ryan on the gas. Has a good jump there on Henderson and Gahn. Henderson picks up second position. Justin Gahn on the high side. He's not letting him get away with that too easy. And on that dog leg, it looks like the Henderson car gets way ahead of him, but it's only just. It's a little deceiving from a distance. Jeremy Brooks holding off Evans and Keys. Keys on the inside in that white car. Oh, it's the 809 that loses it there. That is Jacob Williams, if I'm not mistaken. There he goes. Oh, it's actually two separate incidents, really. It looks like Jacob Williams loses it, but ahead of there's another incident. Let's take another look at that. Well, I may have gone far a little too far a little there, but this is the incident with Jacob coming off turn number 4, loses it, and ahead of them, that is the 809. That is Chris Carter. He also loses it. So we basically have two separate incidents coming off turn number 4 of drivers losing it. Scala and Branch going into the pits, as well as Carter and Thorndike. And Chris Heller in the back there as well. He got caught up in that as well. Ryan Nicoletta. Jacob Williams has got a pretty damaged machine there. The 028 is going around. That is your SFI Lucky Dog. There he is. That is Andrew Mraz. And I'm fairly sure he's going to need some repairs as well. Doesn't look like it's Andrew's night here tonight. All right, let's pick up on our hard charger. That would currently be Jeff Figlin. Jeff Figlin, currently our hardest charger. He is 19 positions up. That ties him to Casey Duncan and Jacob Menning, but he is in a higher position. Raz has gotten some repairs. He's got that nose back on that machine. There's Chris Heller coming back in for some repairs. Brian Fallon is still on pit road there. I'm thinking Brian also got caught up in this whole endeavor. Schneider's having a difficult night as well. Lucky for Guy Schneider, he's already locked into the playoffs with a win, so it doesn't matter that much. But still, it's not fun to have a bad night. Scott Wise is also on pit road with quite extensive damage on the front of that machine, and Avery Wilson is also there with a lot of damage. The lights on the pace car have been turned off, folks. We're getting ready to go back to racing, going into lap number 75. That gives us 16 laps to go in that second stage. And Tommy Ryan is early on the throttle.
Green flag, green flag.
Pulls away again. Elliot Henderson trying to pick up second position from Justin Gahn there on the higher side, and that seems to work. Justin Gahn has to settle for third behind the 03. Then it's David Evans and Jeremy Brooks side by side on down the backstretch into turn 3 and 4. A lot of drivers putting wheels over that yellow line here in Phoenix. The banking is not that high. It does upset the car a little if you're not careful, but it's not as bad as some of the bigger tracks. Henderson in second. Can he bring it up there to Tommy Ryan? Can he challenge for that stage win? Let's ride along here with Henderson. Coming off turn number 4 onto the main straightaway. Oversteery car. Has to be very careful on the throttle. Into turn number 1. Same thing. Has to feather that throttle not to turn that car around. Almost 0.5 of a second now behind Tommy Ryan. It looks like that gap is increasing, but not really fast, but it is increasing. Justin Gahn is about similar distance behind Henderson, and then a second further down it is Jeremy Brooks, who's got Anthony Keys behind him, and Jeff Figlin. Jordan Berry there in 7th. David Evans has dropped off to 8th. And it looks like Casey Duncan is putting himself in the mix there, getting ahead of Max Williams, who is on that higher side for a moment and losing out a little bit. It looks like Eric Kepf is coming to the inside there. Jacob Manning is there in front of Max Williams now. Jacob picks up that 10th position. Nice little battle going on between these guys, with David Evans leading the group. Williams coming to the inside of Manning. Oh, and that is going south in a hurry. A little bit of a touch, pushing Manning up high, and both of them losing several positions. Andrew Mraz is right there behind him looking at it. Jimmy Thorndike picked up a few positions. He is now the one in 10th position. Casey Duncan still going after David Evans. It looks like the group has stretched out a little bit. And Duncan staying with Evans pretty good. Trying something. Going to the inside into turn number 3. That is a good ballsy move, and he makes it stick. Good job for Casey Duncan there. Jim Thorndike trying to pick up the pieces. He's coming underneath Evans now, going into turn number 1. That is also a good move there. Very clean. It's not quite done yet. And he's going to have to fix that in turn number 3, but it looks like Evans is, he's got good momentum on that high side in 3 and 4. Coming off side by side, it looks like Thorndike a little bit loose coming off the turn, and David Evans successfully defends his 9th position. It's Eric Kepf behind them. It's Ron Schutte behind those guys, but he is not there for a position. He is in 20th position, a lap down. Jacob Manning in 12th, Andrew Mraz in 13th, Jason Branch in 14th. Max Williams dropped off to 15th with that little slide we saw a few laps ago. Jeremy Brooks closing in on, Jordan Berry closing in on Jeremy Brooks. Close together here. Jeremy is in 6th position and Jordan Berry is in 7th. Trying the higher side, getting a little bit better momentum maybe there. No, it's not close enough. Anthony Keys and Figlins are pretty close together. That's 4th and 5th position. Jason Branch moving on up through the field. He is chasing after Jacob Manning and Andrew Mraz. Ron Schutte is ahead of them. He's a lap down. 3 cars together here. Mraz, Manning, Branch. Schutte is kind of trying to stay out of the way. And it looks like Jason Branch is coming underneath Manning. And he can make that stick. Oh, you could see that going south in a hurry. Ron Schutte is trying to stay out of their way, but it looked like Manning was trying to go in between there, and that didn't quite work. Manning is keeping it kind of tight. And Branch is still on the bottom. Are we going 3 wide now? No. That's a little deceiving from that camera angle. I apologize. All right, Anthony Keys still holding off Jeff Figlin for 4th and 5th position. It kind of looks like Jeremy Brooks has done away with Jordan Berry. Tommy Ryan, your leader, is now 1.2 seconds clear. He is going to lap, I believe that's Ryan Nicoletta. Car's pretty damaged, can't see much of the numbers anymore. Elliot Henderson in 2nd position. He's got Justin Gahn there at about a half a second as they go underneath Scott Wise. Scott Wise running with a lot of damage there. And Scott is currently in the 27th position, so he's not having the best of nights. He's going to need 13 points to get himself into the playoffs. So that might still work. Let's go and check back. I was trying to look for Jason Branch. Still going after David Evans. Eric Kepf in front of him. Jason looks pretty racy tonight here. He's trying to work his way up. Going around the outside of Evans into turn number 1. 1 and 2 seems to be... I was going to say turn 1 and 2 seems to be good on the bottom, but Branch is proving me wrong. You can actually pass around the outside there too. Looks like that top line in all turns is getting rubbered in pretty nicely. There's the Oreo car of Bill Voigt, also being passed now. That is not for position. David Evans is looking at Jacob Manning on the inside there. Into turn number 3, he gets underneath. Max Williams trying to come along with Manning. And we're already in lap number 94, folks. That means I have to apologize to you. I missed that second stage, but I can tell you that the order up front was not changing. It was Tommy Ryan in front of Henderson, Gahn, Keys, and Figlin that were in the first 5 positions, and those positions have been the same for quite some time. So your second stage winner is Tommy Ryan. Tommy Ryan doing a very dominant performance here tonight, leading pretty much all laps except for some at the pit stops there, but he is definitely adding major points to his DXP Frontman Award. He was already leading that coming in this race, and he is definitely adding big time to that. Let's take a look here at Chris Scala, who is still running in 17th position. Last car on the lead lap. It looks like he's going to be lapped by Tommy Ryan anytime soon. Jeremy Brooks diving into pit road, lap number 97. Pit strategy, folks. We see drivers that have went up to 56 laps. That means that pitting now would take you to the end of the race. It might be a little early as, well, he would make it, that's for sure, but some other drivers may want to wait it out a little bit and see if we get another yellow. That would obviously make that worth your while. Pitting under yellow is always better than pitting under green, no matter how you look at it. Chris Heller is also on pit road. If we can find him. Ooh, that car looks a little bit crumbled up. Chris Heller has been, well, maybe not been moving all that much. He's 21 laps down currently. Wilson has not been moving. Chris Carter is out, and Brian Fallon has also left the race. There comes Tommy Ryan catching up with Chris Scala. Kevin Nicoletta bringing that 41 in for service. Casey Duncan doing good business here. He has been battling with Anthony Keys, and he's getting ahead. Casey Duncan up 23 positions since the start of the race, and that makes him our R&R Charger at this point. Jeff Figlin in front of Jordan Berry in 4th is up 22 positions. So we have a few good gainers here. Jeff Figlin doing pretty good work in 4th position. He is about 4.5 seconds behind Justin Gahn, and Justin is right on the tail of the 03 of Elliott Henderson. Eric Kepf coming in the pit road. Time for tires and fuel. David Evans follows him in. Henderson and Gahn still going at it for second and third, coming up on some back markers as we see Jacob Manning coming down pit road. And Eric Kepf on his way out. Tommy Ryan out in front by 2.3 seconds. Dominant performance once again. Jacob Manning leaving pit road. Kevin Nicoletta going after Ron Schutte there, setting a personal best this lap. It looks to me like Justin Gahn's machine is a little bit loose on entry and also a little bit loose on exit. And mid-turn it's fine, but you can see him working that steering wheel a little bit on entry and on exit. Now the exit is his own doing. He has to feather that throttle, and he does a good job at that for sure. Going in between two back markers here. Looks like he's losing a little bit of ground there to Henderson, and I'm sure the back markers had something to do with that. Anthony Keys is coming down for service. Justin Gahn takes it to pit road out of third position. Jordan Berry coming in. And Keys leaving as Gahn reaches his pit stall. Tommy Ryan coming into the pits with Elliot Henderson following him in. Casey Duncan also coming in the pits. We're talking lap 110 here tonight at this point. Andrew Mraz follows them in as well. That puts Jason Branch in a good position. He is still running. He is going to pick up the lead. Well, maybe he's not going to get that far. Jeff Figlin currently is the leader. Jason Branch in second position at this point. 8 seconds behind Figlin. Tommy Ryan going out. Henderson going out. Thorndike coming in. Max Williams coming in. If we stay green, this will be their last pit stop for sure. Thorndike getting to his pit stall right behind Jeff Ryan. Max Williams a little bit further up there. And Jeff Figlin is still out there. So is Jason Branch. Figlin, let's see, Chris Scala also looking to go to the pits precinct. Ooh, Jeremy Brooks having a major slide back there. Justin Gahn getting underneath him to pick back up 5th position. It looks like Justin Gahn has made it out ahead of Elliot Henderson. So going into the pits earlier worked for Justin Gahn. The famous undercut. They are 2.3 seconds behind Tommy Ryan. Figlin and Branch still not going in. Figlin last pitted on lap number 64. We can bring out that stint length board here. 50 laps, so he's got a few laps to go if he wants to. Same is true for Jason Branch. Pitted last on lap 71. We're in lap 115 currently. Nice, good, long green stint we have. Ron Schutte comes down pit road, bringing in that 28 machine. Jason Branch doing some good work here in second position, passing back markers. And again, folks, Jason Branch has already worked his way into the playoffs based on points. He does not have a win this season, but it doesn't matter. He is in the playoffs, and that is important, obviously, because if you're not in the playoffs, you can kind of kiss your title hopes goodbye. Figlin coming down pit road now as we speak. That puts Jason Branch in the lead for now. And no matter how you look at it, it's always a good feeling to be in the lead, even though you know that you're going to have to pit. But as a racing driver, being in the lead is always a rewarding feeling. Jason comes into the pits right now. That is going to give the lead back to Tommy Ryan. There he comes off turn number 4. He is pretty much like 3 seconds ahead of Justin Gahn. And Elliot Henderson is now in third position. Justin Gahn beat Henderson out off pit road. Going in a little bit earlier than Henderson, and that helped him get the second position back. There's about a second between those guys. It is now Jeremy Brooks in the 53 that is in fourth position. Jeremy pitted last on lap number 96. He should be good to the end, but obviously tires are going to be an issue for him. Chris Scala, with all the troubles he's had, he is still running, and he is 27 positions up since the start. So it is well worth mentioning that Chris Scala is a hard charger in this race, doing an extremely good job. We had somebody up in the wall there that looked like Williams. He was probably just trying to stay out of everybody's way there. These guys are really doing a good job. When they're a few laps down, they really do a great job of staying out of the way of the battles for the lead, and that is very good sportsmanship. Tommy Ryan closing in on the 52 of Max Williams, going to put a lap on him. Max is not making it all that easy. He would probably like to stay on that lead lap. Max Williams is needing 8 points to get himself into the playoffs, so if he would finish
Caution,
in the
yellow
top
flag.
10, he would be okay. We have an incident, and it looks like that was Ron Schutte. Indeed it is. He gets loose off turn 4, turns it around, noses it into the inside wall, and then Figlin runs into him. And Figlin damages his car there pretty bad. Engine smoking, hopefully, we don't have fast repairs anymore on the shorter tracks. So that is a costly situation for Figlin. Tommy Ryan going for new tires. Justin Gahn and Henderson are following him in, as is Jeremy Brooks. That is no surprise. I believe it is the 41 that is being sent around as our lucky dog. That would be Kevin Nicoletta. Sponsored by SFI, Kevin Nicoletta is our lucky dog at this point. Lap number 124. Alright, so let's take a look at the front of the pack here with Miraz. Let me see here. Tommy Ryan is back out of the pits in 4th position, so that didn't cost him very much. Henderson, Miraz, Brooks, Nicoletta are right behind him. Jordan Berry picks up the lead. He pitted last on lap 109. He would be good for fuel, but will he be good enough for tires? Justin Gahn actually beat Tommy Ryan out of the pits. He is now in 2nd position. Max Williams is coming down pit road, as are a bunch of other drivers. There's Nicoletta, the 47 of Williams. I saw Schneider, Figlin, Quiring. Oops, that's not Quiring, that's Tom Schutte. That is Tom Quiring. So Jordan Berry is taking a bit of a gamble here. He pitted last on lap 109. He is ahead of the Gahn, Ryan, and Henderson, but he did not pit right now, and that means that he's on tires that are 20 laps older than his pursuers there. So if he can make that work all the way to the end, I would be highly surprised. It's a little significant, though, that Justin Gahn beat out Tommy Ryan. That may mean that Gahn only took 2 tires. But then again, it could also mean that he just had a better pit stop. We're getting ready to go back to racing. The back markers have been turned past the pace car. Jordan Berry is in the lead there. It's going to be Berry and Gahn on the first row, then Ryan and Henderson on the second, Miraz and Brooks on the third. So Jordan Berry, our friend from Canada, what can he do here tonight? Can he hold off those guys that pitted? Going into lap number 127. That gives us 26 to go. Berry has a good start. Pulls a couple of car lengths on the guys behind him. Justin Gahn trying to stay ahead of Tommy Ryan. Tommy Ryan is on the inside, picks up 2nd position, and they're diving into turns number... Oh, Tommy Ryan's going to lose it! Ooh, that is something we don't see very often, folks. Tommy Ryan lost it coming off of turn number 2. Let's bring that back for you. He is going into number 1 really hard there, just like Gahn and Henderson. And then he loses it coming off the turn. He's not the only one in trouble. It looks like we have a an incident. Corbin Simmons seems to be in trouble. He actually gets a touch from Jason Branch, and they both go around. Let's take a look at what happened to Branch there. He touches the other 22 car, and he can't save it. Luckily, he comes to a stop there. It also says that Ron Schutte had an incident. He was behind those guys and possibly not able to get around the 022. That's what it was. All right, back under yellow again. David Evans going down pit road. Jordan Berry no longer in the lead. It looked like Justin Gahn beat him to the line. The number 15 is going around. And that is Chris Scala. Excuse me, putting himself back onto the lead lap. He is your SFI lucky dog. And once again, folks, Scala doing a phenomenal job here tonight. Even though he had quite a few incidents that he was a victim of, he kept on going, and he is putting himself back on the lead lap. The hard charger of the moment is Jacob Manning. Jacob is up 26 positions since the start. Jacob Manning there on the bottom of your screen in that 62 car. And it looks like Justin Gahn is choosing to go to the high side on the restart. That's interesting. Coming off turn 4 can give you pretty good momentum. So he's doing it different than so far. Looks like we're getting ready to go back to racing. We'll be going into lap number 132, just under 20 laps to go. Barry still didn't decide to pit, and he's just deciding to go the distance on those older tires. So it'll be interesting to see how high up he can stay.
Green flag,
there we go. Good start. Very good start for Justin Gahn. Barry in second position. Jacob Manning on the high side. Elliot Henderson coming down on his inside there, picking up the third spot. There's Brooks and Mraz behind them. Ooh, somebody blinking out. That's Jordan Berry. Deep into turn number 3, Elliot Henderson picks up that second position from Jordan Berry, and Jacob Manning is doing the same. Oh, that's Brooks and Mraz touching. Oh, my goodness. The 53 of Brooks, and Mraz touches him on the quarter panel, turns him around, then Kepf behind him can't go anywhere and turns the 28 around. Oh, Scott Wise runs into that. Scott Wise is having a bad night as well. Really bad night. Well, it looks like Guy Schneider would be our lucky dog, if I see that correctly. Yes, indeed. He's going to be going around. Guy Schneider is your SFI lucky dog. And what is interesting is that Tommy Ryan has brought it to pit road. He's may have picked up a little bit of damage maybe. And he is opting for new tires. Anthony Keys is there. A lot of damage on that machine. Max Williams coming back out. He doesn't look too bad. Kevin Nicoletta misses a lot of parts on the front end. And Jason Branch looks pretty good. Thorndike also many parts missing on that machine. Jason Branch leaving. Tommy Ryan on pit road still. Yes, he's been run into. He's got some major damage on the back end. That is very unfortunate for him. It's not going to affect his chances for the playoffs any. Obviously, he's locked in with 3 wins, but it's a sad night to a dominating race here for Tommy Ryan. He is going back out. He is going to be coming out in 16th position. Ryan Nicoletta back there is also still on pit road in the 59 machine. I don't believe we've seen Figlin moving very long. Nicoletta is coming back out. Tommy Ryan is back in again. Maybe getting some more repairs, maybe coming to the conclusion that the repairs are not sufficient. We'll keep an eye on that. The lights on the pace car have been turned off. Justin Gahn is once again opting for the high side. He's got Elliot Henderson on the inside, Manning and Berry on the second row, and then Brooks and Kepf on the third row. So it looks like Jeremy Brooks came off of his mistake there, or actually being touched by Mraz. He came off of that incident pretty good. Justin Gahn again looking to make a jump on the high side there. Going into lap number 137, folks. That means we have 14 laps to go. And there we go, Justin Gahn early on the throttle. He gets good response from Henderson and Manning. Berry actually on the inside diving into third position with his teammate Manning. Actually, I'm sorry, it's the other way around. Berry is on the high side. Manning was the one that dove in there. Cars look pretty much alike. 4 teammates there together. Justin Gahn in front. He's passing Andrew Moore. He is staying on the apron, staying out of the way. Good job. Elliot Henderson staying with Justin Gahn really nicely.
Caution, yellow flag.
Jason Branch getting in trouble at some point here. Yeah, Jason Branch loses it all by himself there and then collects, clearing. We have another caution. Well, I guess the final stage of the race here is ending a little bit worse than what most of it was. We've seen some really good green flag stints and some really good racing, but they're having a little trouble finishing this up. Casey Duncan should be the one that gets the lucky dog, if I see it correctly. Jordan Berry finally going in for tires. Yep, there you have it. Casey Duncan is your lucky dog. Going around. Bit of a out of the limelight kind of race for Casey Duncan here tonight, but he kept on soldiering on, and he is back on the lead lap in 16th position. Tommy Ryan once again on pit road. He's got a lot of damage on that machine, and he's just trying to get it all fixed up. He did move up through the field quite well. Barry is coming back out. Snyder on back off of pit road. Keys, Branch. Not too bad of damage on that machine. Front end is a little bit crumbled up there. Didn't hit the wall that hard. That looks like the 31 of Scott Wise standing still without a nose there. And Justin Gahn picking up some point for that DXP Frontman Award, but he's got a long ways to go to catch up with Tommy Ryan on that competition. Jacob Manning, your hard charger at this point, 27 positions up, so he's come from a long ways down, folks. Manning into 62, in good company of his teammates there. Tommy Ryan coming back in for more repairs. Same for Branch and Ryan Nicoletta. The fact that we don't have those fast repairs anymore, folks, I think is a good thing. If you want it, you really need to earn it, and you not only have to keep yourself clean, but you have to stay out of trouble caused by others, which is sometimes simply impossible. But that's part of the game. Looks like we're getting ready to race again. Going into lap number 43. That means we have 8 laps to finish this thing. Gahn again opting for the outside. He's already proven that it works. Second row, Kepf and Manning. Jordan Berry now in 9th position on new tires. Newer than the rest of them. There goes Justin.
Green flag, green flag.
Good start, good response for Elliot Anderson on 2nd position there. Eric Kepf behind him. Jacob Manning in 4th. Max Williams there in the 52 on the higher side. The number 13 of Jim Thorndike. He has worked his way up through the field. David Evans taking a cut down the parking lot, it looks like. Justin Gahn still in the lead here. Elliot Anderson keeping up quite well. Eric Kepf and Jacob Manning, same thing, keeping up quite well. A little bit stretched out. Ooh, somebody was diving in there. That looked like Jordan Berry. He is from 9th to 5th in 2 laps time on those newer tires. We're going to have to keep an eye on that 51 here in the closing stages of the race. If he keeps it green, he's going to be in the advantage. He's already closing in on Jacob Manning, his teammate there. Coming off turn number 4, he slides the car a little bit. He is all out at this point. Trying the high side. He's going to do the over-under here probably. Nope. He's keeping it on the high side. It looks like Manning is defensive on the inside there. And Berry is settling for 5th position here. Coming around the outside of his teammate. Now he picks up 4th position. Good work for Jordan Berry. Phenomenal racing here. He took a gamble getting some tires, and obviously if it goes back to yellow, he's going to be caught out, but he was gambling on these final 8 laps being run under green, and so far that looks to be working out for him. Justin Gahn has pulled a little bit on Elliot Henderson. Kepf is a little bit further back. And then Jordan Berry is getting ready to close in on his teammate Eric Kepf. He wants that podium position. Well, lap number 147, folks. We have 4 more laps to go. The time is running out on Jordan Berry, but there is a podium position in sight here. Great job for our Canadian friend. Going into turn number 3, he is taking it a long way around. Coming off of turn 4, he'll have good momentum coming on the main straightaway, and then he's going to cut underneath his teammate. Going into turn number 1, he looks like he is going to be able to get that machine on the podium. But Kepf is giving him a run for his money. He's not making it that easy. On these final laps, working together is no more. It's every man for himself, clearly between Kepf and Berry. Berry on the newest tires of the two. Oops, a little bit of an issue here. Kepf is holding him off so far. Lap 149, we have 2 more laps to go. Justin Gahn is out in front by about 0.3 of a second. Elliot Henderson is closing in, but he brushes the wall and loses a little bit of time there. Ooh, that was close. Jordan Berry picks up 3rd position. Eric Kepf has to let him go. The Berry is on the newer tires, so Jordan Berry picks up 3rd position here with a little bit of a gamble that really worked out for him as we went green all the way. Justin Gahn has had the white flag. He is in the lead, 0.7 of a second clear of Elliot Henderson. That brushing the wall didn't do him any favors. He is hanging on for dear life to 2nd position now, and Jordan Berry once again with a very strategic move. He moved himself into a podium finishing position here. Very, very good job. And there we have it, folks. Justin Gahn, Elliot Henderson, Jordan Berry finishing on the podium positions. Eric Kepf has to settle for 3rd because of his teammate making a strategic, brilliant move. Jacob Manning in 5th position, Max Williams in 6th, Jim Thorndike in 7th, David Evans in 8th, Anthony Keys in 9th, and Kevin Nicoletta rounds out your top 10 in that 41 machine. What a race. Justin Gahn back in victory lane. I'm kind of looking at the situation as far as the playoffs is concerned. He should be locking himself in with this win, but I am not 100% sure. We'll figure that out later, folks. Let's go and give you the race results. There you have them, and let's go and find some people to talk to if my Discord won't let me down. There we go. Once again, I think Jordan Berry pulled a good move there. Jordan, this is Mark in the booth. Can you hear me?
Sorry, go.
All right, I hope you can hear me good. I can. You seem to cut out there a little bit. Just Jordan, you stayed out at the one but last pit stop there to try and pick up the lead, and then you made a very good move here in that last yellow, getting some new tires, being on fresher rubber than everybody else since lap 151, and you pulled yourself up from a 9th position on the restart to 3rd place at the finish. That was good thinking. Tell me about it.
Yeah, you know what? I knew that I didn't have anything for those guys. with the older tires, or tire for tire. So I held off as long as I could, and to be honest, I felt good on older tires, so I knew I could hold off to, let's say, even if I drop back to 10th on fresh tires. So I had some teammates in the air saying, take tires with 10 to go if you got a caution. So I went for it, and it paid off.
Absolutely. It looked like your teammate. I mean, Eric gave you a little bit of a run for your money there. It looked like, but ultimately he had to let you go because obviously he was on tires that were 20 laps older.
Yeah, I tried the inside twice, and that was probably a mistake because I was faster on the outside. So I kind of got held up and still needed a run. Those older tires aren't as bad as, I mean, they're not as good as new, obviously, but they're not as bad as it is. So you can kind of hold it on the outside. But no, he raced me clean, and it was fun at the end there.
Now, throughout the race, it kind of looked to me like going into turn 1 and 2, people would be better off on the inside, and then turns number 3 and 4, it looked like people would have a really good run off turn number 4 when they were on the high side. Did I see that right?
Yeah, you kind of had to diamond three, so you kind of had to protect the line. I had my brake bias almost all the way to the back just to try and set the nose, and then let it roll, roll, roll. I had another teammate kind of help me through that because, to be honest, this isn't my favorite track in the world. So he helped me, kind of guide me through the rolling, and once the nose set, I was able to drive off, and you could see how that kind of worked for a lot of guys in the race.
Absolutely. It looked like you kept your nose pretty clean throughout the race, Jordan.
Yeah, you know what? I had 4X, which was at the end there. I kind of was on the curb and I got doored, or I guess it was probably a racing deal. I got new tires there on older ones, and that was about the only X I had, or only X's I had all race. So kept it clean, and I got to give a shout out to John Jenkins, Andrew Moore, and Guy Schneider. They really have taught me to be patient, and it's paying off in the last 3 or 4 weeks here. I think in blown piston I've been top three the last 4 races, so it's been fun.
Yeah, we've been talking quite a bit lately, and before that, that had been a while for sure.
Just I think it's letting guys go when they're faster, and hopefully learning how to save some tires. It's fun in this simulator how the way you drive makes a big difference.
Absolutely, and I think the move you pulled here at the end, going for those tires with what was it, 10, 20 laps to go, 15 laps to go, I don't remember, but that is the kind of strategic moves that maybe if you start thinking about those kind of things a lot more, that is working really well, obviously.
Yeah, it's like tires can be so important in some of these tracks and track position. And I think there was only 13 guys in the lead lap, so I knew that worst case scenario, like John said in my ear, he said, you're going to get back to a top five worst case scenario. So I went for it, and it worked. I was hoping that we'd get a little bit of a longer run, and that we wouldn't have had three cautions, 15 laps. We would have only had one. That worked out.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it seemed to me like the middle part of the race was really good. We had a lot of green flag racing there, and it looked like at the end people got a little bit overexcited, maybe.
Yeah, if you can't save it off of three there, it can cause a real mess. As I think I saw in my rearview mirror a couple times where it looked like a parking lot behind us. So, and that turn one, if you drive it in too deep, there's no you lock them up and you're sliding right into the guy. So I don't know what the cautions happened, but I imagine that was the majority of them.
Well, the funny thing is that at the end of it, it was actually, two cautions there at the end were caused by people just losing it by themselves coming off of turn 4. And that tells me that they're just a little bit too they're just driving it a little bit too hard and too hopeful to make up positions there at the end.
Yeah, 100%. That's another thing I've learned is you can't treat that gas pedal as a light switch. You got to roll on and off. So
Absolutely, you got to feather that thing.
yeah, exactly.
All right, Jordan. Thank you very much, my friend. I'm glad to see you back in the top three again. It looks indeed like you're doing a heck of a lot better, and it's great that you're getting some help with that, finding the way how to do it. So that's pretty cool, man. Any love yous and thank yous you want to throw out in the world?
Yeah, again, just thanks to my grandparents. They love watching this. My parents, brother. Like I said, I mentioned a few guys in this interview already. They helped me out a lot. Momentum Sim Racing, like hanging out with those guys, And obviously yourself with the broadcast, like watching it back, and Mr. and Mrs. Wise, they put on a pretty good show here and make sure the strings are pulled tight.
Absolutely, I think we've come a long way this season. We started out a bit messy, but we've made major improvements, and the racing has been very good lately. So they do an awesome job. Thank you very much, Jordan. Go celebrate, my bud.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Elliot, this is Mark in the booth. Can you hear me?
I can.
It looked like you had a pretty strong car all night long, Elliot. Did you have the feeling that you had anything left there for Justin? It looked like before Justin got to the front, it was Tommy Ryan that was having the better of you, and he was pulling away quite good for quite some time until he run into some bad luck there. But well, how was it at the end there with Justin?
Yeah, I mean, Tommy had everything held on. He, every week it feels like he's the fastest guy, and tonight was no different. But that one mistake that he made on that one restart where he got a little loose off turn 2, I'm assuming he was trying to downshift and get a better run to get around Jordan. He just, it happens. And luckily it opened up a great run for myself and Justin. I don't think either of us would have won tonight, but I think you are looking at who would have been in the top 3 at least. What I needed to get on Justin was just green flag laps. Like when Tommy had that issue and then we had a yellow right after that, I needed to go green from there. Because in the long run, I felt like I was going to get him because he was on 2 tires and I was on 4. But for me, it was as soon as I hit the wall, I knew that run was over with about 2 to go. I may have been able to slide and maybe give him a bumper or something into 3 on the last lap if I didn't hit the wall there. But he made a good call, and he made do with all the restarts, had really good restarts there, and there wasn't much else that I could really do to try to hold him off or get back around him. So he was fast all night and nailed the pit stops too. So it's certainly not disappointing to finish second ever, but it does get it's starting to creep in. When can I win one of these? Because we've been second, third, fifth so many times. Hopefully as these playoffs start, we can start to actually put some wins in the column. But for now, I think we've locked ourselves in handedly, and we can focus on what's ahead.
I'm sure the taste of podiums is becoming a little bit more normal, and then you want that top spot. I can totally understand that. So going back to when you brushed the wall there, what happened there? Were you just a little bit too quick off the turn there, a little bit too much gas, or what happened?
Yeah, Justin, when he took 2 tires, said he was rotating much better through 2, and that's where I felt like I was faster than everybody for most of the race was 1 and 2, and then right there I was just trying to imitate what he was doing because I was like, I'm on 4 tires, I shouldn't be running any worse than he is, and these cars aren't that aero sensitive at short tracks like this, but just something about going into 1 and 2 and trying to get too much run off. I saw he was getting close to it. I brushed it a few laps before, but when I hit it with 2 to go, it was that was the ender. It kind of grabbed the tire and everything. So throttle way too early. Got a little bit more tight than loose, and that was all it was.
Well, it's still like you said, Elliot. It's still a good result to bring home on the final race in the regular season. You're locked into the playoffs pretty comfortably, I would say. You only needed 13 points, so I mean you should be pretty good there. And what is your expectation for the playoffs? Obviously, you want to win races to move on, but what is your expectations in general for the rest of the season?
Well, I know we got some fast guys here. Tommy, Roger didn't show up tonight. I know Roger's fast. You've got Guy Snyder and guys that have won races this season. So ideally, I think if I can get out of here with a top 5 in points, I think that'd be pretty nice. I feel like I've been a top 5 car every single week, so I don't see why that's too much of a stretch. But obviously, I don't want Tommy to win this championship. I'm not going to wreck him for it, but I definitely want that championship. So we'll see how these next. I think there's 5 races sorted out. We'll see how they go. We'll see where Tommy's fast. Maybe I have an edge over him somewhere. Like I felt like Pocono was the one true spot that I felt like I had the car. And we'll see if there's any more tracks like that in the playoffs where maybe he struggles a little bit more than I'd anticipate him doing so. But right now I'm really just looking at Tommy and Roger as the 2 guys. And if we can be up there as that 3rd guy, that's where we want to be.
All right. Well, sounds good, Elliot. Any love yous and thank yous you want to throw out there in the world before I let you go?
As always, kicking asphalt racing. Chris White, Eric Kep, Jacob Manning. We had Christopher Heller filling in for Chris White tonight, so that was a ton of fun. Chris had a decent run until, calamity. That happens. Gritty Sports, the other team I run with, and Elliot Henderson Graphics, NZXT, Fanatec, and Obudo Racing Rigs, and that'll basically do it. Oh, you guys for the broadcast. Sorry, can't forget that. And then Blown Piston for obviously putting on the league. Many thanks to all those guys too.
Thank you very much, Elliot, and we'll see you again in the new year, man, for the playoffs.
Yes, sir. We'll see you then.
Justin, it looks like you had a pretty good night here tonight. You had a strong car all night long. Tommy Ryan up front was walking away from all of you guys. Was it sheer luck that he had a little bit of bad luck at the end there, or did you have something for him? Do you feel?
No, if he didn't fall into that bad luck, he had this thing won. He was fast all night. I mean, I was comfortable with the car and had a fun race and felt really good all night. But I knew I just didn't have the speed he had tonight. So unfortunately, he got caught up in some stuff. But I get the win, so I'm ecstatic.
We've talked in Winter Circle with you before, but it's been quite some time, so I'm sure you're pretty happy about being back here.
Oh yeah, unfortunately, Sundays is hard for me to get in here. So when I do, I try to get that podium finish.
Well, obviously that's the name of the game. You're not coming here to just cruise around a little bit. You're here to win races, and that's the same for everybody. But realistically speaking, there's some pretty stiff competition in this B car championship, Justin. And it looks to me like Tommy Ryan is always kind of the man to beat, and he gets beat by getting into trouble.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that last pit stop, I took two tires. Once that caution came out, I was hoping I can get in front of them out of the pits and keep them behind me that way. And that ended up working out for me pretty well when the 51 decided to stay out, and things just sort of went my way from then on.
Yeah, I mean, you got ahead of Tommy there with taking the two tires. Did you feel comfortable enough on just two new tires to probably make it to the end with him behind you?
Yeah, I mean, looking at the tire wear, the inside tires weren't wearing too bad, so I figured I only had about, I think, maybe 15 laps on them, if that. And when I came out of the pits, my insides were only 99%. So I knew taking the two tires was going to help me turn and hopefully give me the speed that I needed.
All right, so it really looks like those inside tires basically they last a long time then on this track. It kind of looked to me, Justin, like you all were a little bit loose going into turn one, and then also obviously a little bit loose coming off the turns, but that's more throttle control than really that the car the handles bad. But all in all, it seemed like everybody had a little bit of trouble keeping that back end straight behind the nose.
Oh yeah, turn one's kind of weird. It can get loose and tight and all at the same time. It's just it depends on how you enter and your how well you can break into the turn. But yeah, it's definitely pretty tricky. You've got to definitely run some practice laps to get consistent here.
Is it also very much a matter of where you put your brake bias, how you make that car rotate into turn one?
Oh yeah, brake bias, steering offset, all that can play a little bit of a factor into tire wear and helping you get around the track a little bit faster. So being a fixed setup, it's definitely minor things you can tweak, but it will make a difference.
All right, Justin. Once again, congratulations, my friend. I'm not really sure about your playoffs situation. Does this win get you in there, or did you not have enough points?
Sure, the team's trying to figure that out now, but hopefully I get in there. If not, I'll still be here, putting team points up on the board and just having a good time.
That's what it's mostly about, isn't it? All right, Justin. Thanks very much, my friend. Any love yous and thank yous you want to throw into the world before I let you celebrate?
Yep. Give a shout out to my team 4X and 2X, and got to thank Google for sponsoring the card tonight. Thanks Scott and Lauren for putting the league on, and you up in the booth.
Thank you very much, Justin. We'll wish you Merry Christmas and a good change of the years there at December 31st. We'll see you back on January 10th. All right, I think his mic cut out a little early there, folks, but that'll have to do it for tonight. As far as the interviews is concerned, we spoke to the top three finishers there. Jordan Berry, once again, an impressive move there, taking those tires at that final caution, or maybe it wasn't the final one, but at lap 151 there, that really gave him some really good momentum coming off those final laps, bringing it to the third place there, top three finish. It's interesting to hear him talk about working together with his teammates. For those of you that are fairly new to iRacing, a lot of people form teams together, practice together, and that is exactly why he described that very nicely. That is a way to improve yourself working together in open setup leagues. You can help each other with setups. In all leagues, you can basically help each other with the fact that you need to start thinking strategically. Racing is more than just running fast laps all the time. You can't be fast all the time. You have to, one of the things that I always kept with me is something that famous Formula One driver Nicky Lauda once said. He was asked by a journalist about strategy and all that stuff, and basically he just says, well, you need to drive fast enough to win, but that sounds really simple, but there's a lot to that, because sometimes you have to be patient. You have to let people go if you know you're not fast enough, because you don't want to overdrive your car and burn up your tires and stuff like that. All that comes into play, and I found it interesting that Jordan was kind of confirming that idea that working in a team like that really can help you out. So if you are not in a team already, go on and look on Facebook on the various iRacing pages and see if you can find some people to work with. All right, so Elliot Henderson, also another solid performance from him, second position there. Didn't really well. He on a longer green flag final stint. He may have had something, but then he brushed the wall and kind of had to give up his aspirations to go after Justin. Justin ran another solid race here. He's not always present in this Sunday night league, but when he is always running very strong, and he's always running strong in the trucks as well. So unfortunately for Tommy Ryan, he kind of got stuck in 15th place there at the end. Got caught up in a little bit of a mishap there. Very unfortunate for him, but what can we say? That is part of racing. 16 drivers finished on the lead lap, last of which is Jason Branch. Jason was already locked into the playoffs on points, so that doesn't hurt him all that much. All right, folks, we're going to take a break for the holidays. We wish you all Merry Christmas. We wish you best wishes for the new year, and we're going to go back to racing with these B cars on January 10th in Michigan when we start our playoff system, and we'll try to bring you as much information on who is in there and why before we get to that. So keep an eye out for January 10th. Keep an eye out for the fan page. Blown Piston Racing League has their own fan page that you can subscribe to and get the information on these drivers and these teams. So we once again want to acknowledge some of our sponsors. Wise Choice Contracting. They are your go-to people for windows and doors in the St. Louis area, both sides of the state line there. We have also got Wise Guy iRacing Graphics that both companies are sponsoring our graphics here, both at the beginning and at the end of the race. Obviously, we don't want to forget JM Transport, your go-to people. If it's very big and very heavy, then you call JM Transport. They are specialized in oversized and overdimensional loads. They have a company in Pennsylvania and in Florida to go to. And then obviously we also want to mention Superior Templating for sponsoring our caution flags, Cop Blue for the Pole Award, SFI for the Lucky Dog, R&R Enterprises for the the Hard Charger Award, which, by the way, is going to Jacob Manning in 5th position. He was 25 positions up from the start. And last but not least, we want to acknowledge DXP, the Industrial Distribution Experts, for sponsoring the Frontman Award, which is being led by Tommy Ryan. And even though Tommy Ryan didn't win tonight, I am still fairly sure he is adding good points and extending his lead in that competition. All right, folks, that'll do it for tonight. Again, Merry Christmas. Best wishes for the new year. We hope to see you all back again on January 10th here for the B Cars in Michigan. And until then, I hope you all stay healthy and take care of one another.